Hey fatty boom boom, the sweet sugar dumpling. Hey fatty boom boom, let me tell you something. No, not because you're so big and fat. Don't believe I'm afraid of that. Self-praise is no recommendation. I'm looking for creation. Hey fatty boom boom, the sweet sugar dumpling. Hey fatty boom boom, let me tell you something. To me that look like mouse on a $1 bread. I wouldn't stop trying till I drop down dead. Never let your big size fool you. The cooler day of the cool you. That look like a mouse on a $1 bread. I wouldn't stop trying till I drop down dead. Never let your big size fool you. The cooler day of the cool you. Hey fatty boom boom, the sweet sugar dumpling. Hey fatty boom boom, let me tell you something. I say not because you're so big and fat. Don't believe I'm afraid of that. Self-praise is no recommendation. I'm looking for creation. Hey fatty boom boom, the sweet sugar dumpling. Hey fatty boom boom.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. The Chris Mitchell podcast is back. He's back, bitches. We can't wait for this episode. I can't wait to speak to Legat tonight, a great member from the Highland Division, as we'll go to him very shortly. For those that are wondering, I did a video a few months back. I did say during this period, my mother was going through a very difficult time. She had a liver transplant. It was a success, man. So happy days in the Mitchell household. So God bless my mother. Very buzzing, very good news. In the meantime, I've also done a bit of traveling, been to Serbia and Portugal in the last few months. And this year is the year of traveling, working, and trying to bring great podcasts as well. Of course, I was raided and arrested as well. I face a court date next month. Ironically, the guest with me tonight is also facing a bit of a court date. We will go into that, but a bit funny, isn't it? Bit of a coincidence that everyone that's left PA, well, not everyone as such, but quite a lot of people that leaves PA, Patriotic Alternative, we're having our doors knocked down, and we're not only just being arrested and being put in a cell for 10 to 12 hours, or maybe longer, or maybe less. We're being charged, we're being taken to court, but we're in it for our people, and I'm so excited to have this guest on the show. So enough about me. Let's go and introduce Legat. Legat, sorry if I pronounced it wrong, bro. How are you, first and foremost, bro?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. I'm doing all right. So
it's good to have you here, man.
Oh, so it's not too bad. It's the first time I've been on a podcast. So it's usually I release video statements expressing my feelings and that, but never in a style like this. So it's the first time for me.
Mate, what an absolute honor for me to like give you your debut on the podcast, man. I'm absolutely proud, man. Some of your videos, man, like the thing is with your videos, and they get great views, you can just tell because you're obviously doing it on your camera, or maybe you're smoking a little cigarette, but they just spoken from the heart, bro. Do you know what I mean? Where people can relate to you, people looking to you. You're not a fucking bullshitter. Yeah, you're so outspoken. You're like, this is who I am. This is what I want to achieve. I'm doing this for my people. So fair play to you, man. Any comments on
that? Yeah. So a lot of the time I like to be in nature. So it's where I can freely speak because it's there's no like modern day contaminants. It's just the wind whistling through the trees, the animals, and the crackling of the fire. So I can really convey my message and my feelings to people. So that's when I like to do it the most.
Yeah, don't blame me, man. And you give Scotland a good advertisement. I mean, there's a lot of jokes. I'm sorry to say, not by me, by the way, because I'm actually looking forward to come to Scotland. I'm going to come to Scotland. Hopefully, get to see you and a few of the other lads. But I'm coming to Scotland anyway. As on my travels, I've never been to Scotland. But you give a good advertisement for Scotland because there's a lot of English people. Oh, all you see is like needles everywhere, but it's actually a very beautiful country, really, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the countryside, there's vast amounts of mountains and shorelines and rivers and lochs and cairns. I mean, there's so much to see, but also like the architecture, the old architecture of the cities is something to see as well. Like you don't get architecture like that now. Scotland's definitely the best place to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I've had a few mates actually travel there, like Edinburgh and up into the north there, and they're like, mate, like, obviously, yeah, the weather, that's a downside. We'll put that as an X. But like, if you don't mind about the weather, they say, mate, you don't even feel like you're in a British island. To be fair, it actually looks like a European city or countryside, like with some of the scenery you can see in Scotland.
Yeah, I mean, it's compared to when I used to live down in England, it's definitely a very different place.
Oh, where did you live in England, if you don't mind me asking?
Yeah, I was living in England, just outside of London for a few years, which is yeah, it's very different from Scotland in a lot of ways. One thing I noticed was taxi drivers up north. The taxi drivers is something you see.
How bad is actually well, obviously we're going to go into a few details, but how bad is actually multiculturalism in Scotland? Obviously you have the SNP, the great Nicola Sturgeon at the moment, pushing a fantastic nationalist party, obviously sarcastic, but is multiculturalism as bad as it is in England at the moment?
I would say no, it's a different type of multiculturalism. Our most diverse city is Edinburgh, and I believe it's 85% white. If you go there, it feels different because of the tourism.
Yeah.
But overall in Scotland, it's very different. It's a different atmosphere. Like I feel like the people up here who aren't from Scotland have settled in a different way, whereas up here it feels like it's your home and these people are guests, but down in England it feels like it's their home and you're a guest, not a welcome one at that.
Yeah, I mean, but do you sense that like there's a lot of anti-whites there? But there's a lot of self-hating whites in England. That's the most annoying thing. I mean, obviously being from Birmingham, I don't want my city overrun with like other ethnicities. I'm not saying I hate them, by the way, for the public and legal record, but I want it to be a white English city as it should be for the rest of our nation. But the ones that irritate me the most is the self-hating white Brummies. They'll be like, no, we want Birmingham full of multicultures, and we want kebab houses and curry houses. Everyone kebab houses, mind the pun, I guess. But we'll discuss that shortly. But yeah, do you get a lot of those in Scotland where they're really pushing mass migration to your nation?
Definitely, there's a heightened amount of liberalism here. A lot more liberals than I face down in England. I think because down in England they see the realities of what the people up north preach. We want all these people here, everyone's welcome. But down south, it's a very different sentiment, because I think they see what's happening. It's like, well, this was a bad idea. But it's a lot very liberal. Like a lot of Marxism gets taught in the universities, and there's lots of feminists and leftists and multiculturalists. I'd say it's the biggest problem in Scotland is the left-leaning politics of the people.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, like, it's like a lose-lose situation. So, like, in Birmingham, it's like when people like myself are like, okay, well, obviously I'd never welcomed them anyway, but there's probably a lot of people like, okay, I do welcome them. Now the problem's like too massive to deal with. We've lost our city, same as London, Leicester, Slough, loot, and too many to name off the top of my head, obviously. And I think when you're in that position, you probably think, oh, they're all right. Yeah, like Mohammed on the shop corner's all right. And then they move their family in, and then they sleep with their cousins, etc. We won't go any further than that, actually. But then when you're overtaken, we've lost that city and town. Where I've moved to now, obviously, I'm in Norfolk now, and Norwich is getting a little bit like that. And where I am is actually a little bit like that. I'm still overwhelmingly in the majority, but when I speak to people in a bar, they're like, "Oh no, yeah, but they're all right." I remember one instance, bro. There was a guy in the pub who was like, "Oh, my sister was dating a Muslim, and like the whole family didn't mind her eating a bacon sandwich in front." Like, oh, well, that's it then. It's like if that one family doesn't mind her eating a bacon sandwich, let's invite them all into the nation, and that's the problem, isn't it? Like, when you are a super majority in that nation, you might know one or two, and they're obviously decent people in every ethnicity. So they might know someone called Mohammed or Jerome or Tyrone or whatever, and think, you know what, you're a nice guy, we want more of you. But when more of them comes in, they take over. The crime rates go through the roof, and it doesn't feel like an English safe town anymore, or British, should we say?
I totally agree with you. What I always say to people when I bring up the discussion of migration, and they're like, there are some good migrants, but how many drops of piss in a glass of milk before you refuse to drink it?
Yeah, absolutely agree. But also, like, I argued with a teacher last week. I was up with a teacher. Oh, like, it's my job to educate everyone that we can all live in the same space. Like, mate, like, and the fact is, you can't invite a whole world of people. Yeah, I respect everyone's religions, everyone's identities, everyone's opinions. Yeah, but you can't invite the whole world into one small nation and think, yes, you've got Muslims, Indians, Hindus, Christianities, every one of you, the whole entire world in one small nation, you're all going to get on. It's never going to happen, bro. It's completely unrealistic to suggest that. You obviously will get people like, oh, yeah, you're Brazilian. Oh, you're Chinese. Oh, let's be BFL for life. But it's not going to happen as a whole. You're asking for trouble. You can't expect the whole world to live in one small nation and expect them to get on. It's impossible.
Yeah, I think Sweden was the test subject for European diversity, and we all saw how that turned out. It's got the highest rates of rape, I think anywhere in the world at this point.
It was it's the best test rate because Sweden, like in the 90s, was, I'm sure it's the 90s, I'm sorry if I'm wrong, was voted the safest place in in Europe or the world. I can't remember what it was, but definitely in Europe. At one point, it was the safest country in Europe, shall we say? And now it's one of the most dangerous to go.
Yep, I mean, as they say, if you import the third world, you import the third world's problems.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I did see a comment. Like, obviously, I follow Birmingham page somewhere, and they took a picture of a lovely place in Birmingham. It was a very lovely place. It's like, how can anyone think Birmingham is a shithole? And straight away, the comment section is like, yeah, and just down the road, this is happening, stabbings. Look at the garbage that's out on the streets. And they're naming the areas. And I haven't even have to comment, bro. I didn't even have to comment. I know all the areas. And I'm like, yeah, Borsley Green, Smallheath, Allen Rock, Spark Hill, like all these areas in Birmingham, what we're getting called, like, yeah, but that place is nice, but this is a shithole. This is a shithole. And guess who the super majority is in those areas? Of course, it's not our people, of course.
Yeah, I mean, there's always, I mean, as nationalists, we say there's no such things as coincidences. You know, it's like patterns of behavior and circumstances, and it's like it all lines up all over the world. It's like this, you know, in America, in Europe, it's everywhere. It's like you look at diversity and you look at crime rates, and it's like there's a connection here. There's something going on.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't know. I can't remember the Poland rates, but like you're looking at Obviously, I've done a lot of traveling in East. I know you've done some traveling. We're going to go into that shortly. Eastern Europe, and mate, honestly, I've been to Serbia now. I've spent the last 6 weeks out of the last 3 months in Serbia, and I feel so safe there. I've even walked around. I've even got footage. Yeah, I got off a bus. I was like, I literally went to a bus. I went on a bus. And I was like, I'm just going to get off at the most ghetto place I feel it looks. And I got off this place, and I'm walking around like a typical council estate, and I'm filming. I was like, okay, this looks like a right ghetto. I never once felt in harm. No one said a single thing to me. Whereas, like, I went, and then I get back, right? I had to get a flight to Luton, bro, and instantly every corner, yeah, it's like a Tuesday night as well. Every corner, hoodies, non-whites, looking very suspect. The smell of drugs everywhere. You know, honestly, I'm thinking, like, man, I've just spent a month in Serbia, bro. I even went to what I thought looked like a dangerous area, and I felt unsafe in my own nation.
Yeah, I was also in the Balkans. I was in Croatia last year, and I was there for just under 2 weeks. And it's this whole story, but I had a disagreement with a friend, and he left the country, but I had all my stuff in the storage locker, put in a storage locker by him, because it was all in the Airbnb, but he left to go to Budapest, Hungary, and put all my stuff in a storage locker. And it was my clothes in my bag, my passport, and my phone. So that was a fun time. So for the next few days, I went back to the bar where the Croatian nationalists hang out, and I was looked after by all the Croatian nationalists. You know, they showed me places to eat, they gave me places to stay, helped me retrieve my things again. You know, I had no passport, no mobile phone. I had no idea what they were talking about, but hanging out with the nationalists, it was the safest place I could have been, a lot safer than being here. And after I got back, I stayed in Aylesbury for a week. So it was a complete cultural change, a complete cultural shift.
Yeah.
One thing I'm sure you noticed in Serbia was the lack of diversity. Same was in Croatia. You can see the natives, you know, and it's like their facial structure and their hair color and their eye color. You can tell they're a distinct peoples.
Yeah, I mean, I've been to Croatia. I've only been to Split, by the way, in Croatia, another beautiful part of the world. Hungary, I've been to. Like, I really respect Eastern Europe. Like, I get very jealous. I mean, I wouldn't move there because I love England. I'm England first, and I'm sure, obviously, you're Scotland first, and obviously Britain as well. We will combine for that. But yeah, it's you know, like when you go over to these countries, I don't know how much of a conversation you have with them, but you tell them what's going on because they moan about their governments. They're like, our governments, oh, they're such traitors to our people. Maybe they are to some degree, and I'm like, mate, you don't understand how lucky you are. We are getting well, obviously we're going to go through our court cases very soon as well, but we're getting arrested for XYZ, and they act shocked. Yeah, I've told them not just about my arrest, about your arrest, about your pals' arrest, and other people's arrest in our country, and they're like, you are joking. No wonder you love it here in Serbia. And that is where we are at. I look at them and I am so jealous, and it winds me up because I want England to have that kind of traditionalism. I want that togetherness. But then, like, and they're wound up at their own government. They're like, our government could do so much better. Like, man, come to Britain, yeah, come to Britain for 1 week, yeah, and you will see how lucky you really have. Obviously, finances is not as great for them, but also the cost of living is down, so it probably evens itself out.
Yeah, I mean the cost of living. I was calculating it up with my friend from Croatia, and I paid my bills and rent. The money I had left over would be able to support him, his mother, his grandmother, and his sibling, like everything included for a month. So that was just what was left over from my paycheck. And it's crazy because like it's just a different way of living. It feels a lot different. It feels a lot less globalist, you know. It's all like you know, in Britain it's like very globalist feeling. It's all technologically related, and it's like it really feels like a modern city. And I disdain modernism. But going to Croatia, it really feels like it's in the past, but in a good way.
Well, you see, like in Croatia, and obviously a lot of Eastern, and also a lot of places around the world. I'm not going to forget a lot of places around the world. It's mainly Western Europe that are really struggling at the moment. But they fly their country's flag with pride, bro. And the only time you will see an English flag or other flags is outside their embassy. I don't know if you noticed that, but the only time you see other countries' flags, it's like, well, why is that country flag there? It's like, oh, that's the embassy. Here, it's bloody everywhere. And then also, if you're flying a St. George flag in England, you're racist. You're racist. This is what I say to them as well. I was going to the Serbians. It's like, bro, imagine me coming to you now and you've got the Serbian flag out right in front of me. It's like, you're a racist. You will just laugh your bloody head off at me. It's absolutely incredible. Like the absolute state of our country right now, or our island, should we say.
Yeah, I mean, when I was in Croatia, when the word got around that there was a Scottish nationalist, a lot of the young folk, and there must have been about 40 young, what would be considered here like ultra right wing nationalists there. It's like, and speaking to the population, like I mean, compared to here, the people here would probably consider it like Nazi Germany with like the way they believe. But when you go there and you experience the different mindset, you realize that your way of thinking isn't that out of place. You know, it's fairly normal when you compare it to other countries. It's just the state here and the people who are against us that treat us like we're abnormal, like we have some sort of alien ideology.
Yeah, it gives you pure hope, doesn't it? It's like because obviously you don't question yourself because you know you're doing the normal thing, but because it does seem like we are in a minority, we're being arrested, we're being charged, some of us being sent to jail, some of us might be sent to jail. You know, it really is draining. It's like, mate, like, am I going crazy? Is like what I'm standing up for really like such a bad thing? Like, we're not calling for violence, we're just calling for like normality amongst our own people. Like, what's going on? So when you go to like Croatia, Hungary, Serbia, and a lot of other places around the world, I've been to Malaysia in the past as well, bro, where they like, you know, quite a few Islamic people, Christians, you know, it's quite a diverse place in terms of religion. But they're like, mate, is this really going on in England? Like, yeah. Like, it's so shocking. It's so shocking. And that's also why I call people to travel. I try and put out travel videos as well. So I'm hoping that it kind of gets across to the idiots that think we're not normal. Like, go and live their life. Yeah, and you'll see that you are being indoctrinated by the mainstream media. You know, by the same old elitist people. You know the people in charge. I don't need to tell you anymore.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I totally agree.
All right, bro. Let's go on to yourself. A little bit about yourself. I mean, as we're talking about traveling Europe, have you got any more experiences with traveling Europe other than Croatia, or do you want to move on?
Well, I've traveled to a country outside of Europe. It was in and it was you know, it's very different. I mean, there's stray cats and dogs all over the street. There was rubbish everywhere, and it's, you know, people look at you different. I think people say that race doesn't matter, but I think if you're a white person and you travel to a non-white country, you feel it a lot more. The people in these countries, like they know that there's a difference. You know, they observe that difference. It's like, well, you're white, you're different. But it's only when you come to Europe that you know, especially in Britain and France and Germany, you're not allowed to acknowledge the differences in a certain way. I mean, you have to acknowledge them, but it's like you know, oh, we're all different. Oh, but you know, we're all different, and you have to respect our differences. But at the same time, we're all the same, and you can't treat anyone differently. It's hypocritical.
It's so hypocritical. It's so hypocritical. Like, when I went to Malaysia, a few years back now. I like obviously being ginger, you're white as well, but white and ginger. Oh my god! I was in a shopping mall and I like. It's not being paranoid. I literally witnessed it. Everyone was pushing each other. Like, look over there, because they're all got obviously black hair. That they're Asian, and I'm like, oh my god, I don't want to be centre of attention here, bitch. And I had to go and buy some hats. I literally had to go and buy a hat to cover my hair, and even that didn't stop it completely. But I'm like, but that's what happens. And like, it baffles me when people come over and, oh, I get looked at. It's like, no, no, you fucking don't. No, you don't. Not compared to what we would. And we are what 9 to 10% of the world's population. Is that fair?
Yeah, about 10%. In the last 50 years, it's declined from 35%.
Yeah, and that's what annoys me as well. We're always like, oh, the minorities in our country. Oh, why is the white people afraid of becoming a minority? We are the minority, bitches. We're only a majority, just about, on a small island and a few other islands around Europe. But the rest of the world, you know, we are the super minority. Really, it's absolutely bizarre. But we're like, but white people done bad things in the past. It's absolutely, it's bizarre.
Yeah, I think I read somewhere that white children are 3% of the world's population. I could imagine in 20 years it'll probably be about 1%. I mean, God forbid that happen. But
Yeah,
I
and with
hope
the
it doesn't.
education being taught to us, bro, with the education, white people done X, Y, Z, white people enslaved your people. What's going to happen when we are the minority, like completely within our own nations? You know what I mean? Like, what's going to go through the history stuff in schools, you know, in like 60, 70 years from now, when like white people are 20%, like, how are they going to be treated? And people, the non-whites, are going to watch this show. God, you deserve it because you enslaved our people. Like, I'm sick of this bullshit as well, man. Like, Africans sold white people, like their people at the end of the day. And who was the first people to end slavery? White people. And who's continuing fucking slavery till this day? African people.
Yeah, I mean, slavery was a very small thing that happened. People think of it as like this massive mass thing that happened. But I mean, give an example of like America. I believe it was like less than 1% of households, less than 1% actually own slaves. I think round about that. I could probably find a quote if there's someone will probably search up and find it, but it's a really small minority of people that actually own slaves.
Oh, well, according to history, every white person in the entire world owns slaves, and it's all our fault.
Yeah. I mean, I was discussing with someone, and they brought up this colonization oppression thing. I said, I'm Scottish. You know, I have Irish ancestors. It's like, if you want to talk about oppression, then I can bring it up. But, you know, where's my reparations? Where's my history month?
I don't know if we've seen it the other day, actually, change the subject. Well, no, it's not change the subject, on the subject. But like, there was obviously Tommy Robinson, the great white nationalist, is going on a lot of flipping black nationalist streams lately. You know, like the true white hero he is. And there's one black guy, Respects, I think his name, he's a YouTuber, and he was saying reparations are like housing benefits and JSA or whatever they get now. That I thought, man, you guys are so bloody deluded. Now, you know, there was one guy who's like, give us our things back and we will go back to Africa. I'll tell you what, we robbed them off you. You rob them off us and you fuck off back to Africa and make what you most of whatever you rob of us. Like, it's absolutely bizarre. You know you won't go to Africa because you ain't got fucking hoping out in that country to make a life for yourself. It's absolutely bizarre. It's like, I've never got to a point, like, even if Pakistan had robbed all of England, I'm like, okay, you know what? Pakistan's robbed all of England. I'm going to go move to Pakistan now because they've robbed all my nation. Oh, I'm in Pakistan now and they've robbed all my stuff. And I hate Pakistan. But I live here and I hate it. It's an absolute fucking crazy mentality, bro.
I mean, where do we go when we have no homeland left? What's left for the white Europeans of the world? America, Australia, Europe. Where do we go when there's nothing left for us, when our own countries are taken out of our own hands?
I agree, but I think we're in a position where I don't think, other than people like me and yourself and many people that may be watching and other people that maybe we don't even get on with, a lot of people don't give a shit about us. They've been indoctrinated that much in the education system that they don't care what happens to us.
Yeah,
That's a worry. It's a black pill, but it is a fact and a worry.
yeah. I mean, people care more about the polar bears and the panda bears and the endangered species of the world, but they don't care about their own race that's going extinct. You know, the peoples who built great civilizations, mastered the arts, wrote literature. You know, at the end of the day, Europe made the world what it is with its culture and its peoples, and that's disappearing. What's going to be left? You know.
Yep, completely agree, mate. I completely agree, and something needs to happen now. And a lot of the issues, like with our movements, you know, the state get involved all the time, and the state they have the money. We don't have the money. You know, we can only do our best, and as you're witnessing, like a few of us, a few genuine people are standing up for our people. We are in serious trouble of getting sent down, charged. You know. And then when people watching us as well probably hear about, oh, he's getting arrested, he's getting sent down, or he's getting charged, whatever, and it puts more people off. We are so up against it, bro. And I don't mean to be blackpilling, but we need genuine solutions on how we're going to overcome what's happening to our great nation right now.
Yeah, I mean it's a hard path for nationalists. I mean, I've experienced it firsthand. I'd just been working. I think it was like 14 hours, like including being on the road and working. It was like 14 hours, and the police kicked my door in just past 6 a.m. with a warrant for stickers, spray paint, and stencils. But I feel that the more you walk the path, and the more you get persecuted, as soon as you take the first step into the nationalist world, and I'm gonna start activism. I'm gonna start speaking out more vocally for the rights of my people. You know, with each step you feel the persecution, but with each step you start to see that you are more and more right. That's what I feel. The more I go down this path, the more I know that I was right in taking that first step.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. I mean, like, obviously, yeah, we'll talk about your arrest. So obviously you just announced there you got arrested for some stencils and some stickers. I mean, like, okay, like, let's get a bit of context. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't think you should be getting arrested for any stickers and stencils. But for the audience sake, what were, or allegedly, they are arresting you for that was on these stickers and stencils?
So one of them was anti-LGBTQ sticker. And the other one was a White Lives Matter spray painted on a wall.
It's bizarre though, isn't it? It's like Black Lives Matter is like paraded. It's literally published by the mainstream media. Black Lives Matter everywhere. Like, it's a sponsor of Sky Sports. I want to say, forget. Oh, but someone wants to just say White Lives Matter. Okay, that deserves to be raided. It's absolutely farcical what's happening.
I mean, the context of it is I'm a white nationalist. I'm outspoken. I'm partaking in activism. They would have said there was, you know, kidnapped victims stuffed under my floorboards just as an excuse to kick my door down and try and scare me and look for anything that they could use to put me behind bars for life. But at the end of the day, the charges they've got is you know, bullshit. I mean, like, we'll see what they can prove, but with I don't have a lot of faith in the legal system. You know, I'll probably have to plead guilty to the charges because it's, you know, the way it works. It's like you know, if you're innocent and you're still proven guilty, you'll get more time than if you just say you are guilty. It's total bullshit.
I get what you're saying. I completely get what you're saying. And I'm going through the court system. I got my hearing 1 month pretty much today, but I'm going not guilty, even if they find me guilty. And I just think, because look, I get what you're saying because you don't want more time, and I might get more time as well. Like obviously, mine's through a YouTube video against a drag queen, a Facebook post as well. But it could set a dangerous precedent if you go not guilty. Do you know what I'm saying, bro? Like I think we need to always fight together. Okay, we're gonna go down anyway, so why not just do an extra few months or a year or two, and stick by our principles? And like, but also if you go guilty, yeah, this is just between me and you. If we go guilty, it sets a precedent. Then okay, well now we can charge other people. Like, it's disgusting, and I think that the people watching, yeah, and like forget about the grifters, and we're going to talk about the grifters, the ones that have helped us nowhere, the ones that's got the big audience apparently of nationalism, that's not said a single word about our arrest, yeah, and also those are the people that don't get arrested. We're going to talk about those shortly, yeah. It's completely disgraceful. Yeah. If they're true nationalists, they'd be helping us. They'll be like, okay, bitterness, well, we've had a few disagreements, but we're going to help these people. Yeah, instead of funding your own lifestyles with your bullshit entropys, you should be helping people like him. I'm not even asking for help. I'll fucking take the jail sentence, but you should be helping people that's going to jail. These organisations, that they just act like, oh, there's nothing going on. Everything's so perfect. We're such a great organisation. Our people are going to fucking jail on bullshit trumped up charges, man. Yeah. When are the English, when are the British people going to collectivise and think, okay, we don't agree with X, Y, Z, and you've wronged me in some way or form over the years? When are we going to stand side by side? And this is why Muslims always get the congratulations, because one Muslim can hate the other Muslim, but when it comes to the worst comes to worst, they will back each other. When is that going to happen to our people? And the blame is the organisations that has the numbers and we don't, and they don't want to publicise our problems. They should have answers. They should be questioned and answer what I'm trying to say right now, bro. It's absolutely disgusting what's happening to you and your fellow boys and myself. And have you also noticed it is a coincidence? Yeah. Well, yeah, it's a coincidence that when we leave a certain organisation, we are facing such trouble. Over to you, bro.
Yeah, it's I mean, like I said earlier, it's like we see patterns of things happening. It's like, is it just a coincidence? But if you see it more and more, it's more than just a coincidence. But until it's proven, you can't prove it, but until you have hard evidence. But when you keep seeing the same things happening over and over again, you turn around and say, this isn't just happening, there's a reason behind it. It's not just a fluke of the universe. There's something going on here.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, obviously, we've just discussed your arrest. What about your friends, your colleagues at the Highland Division?
Yeah, so two other members of the Highland Division are facing charges as well. One for making his rap music Mystic, free Mystic. He was arrested again at the protest on Sunday, but he's out again because he's an absolute legend. And
King Docs heavy fit because
here we go. This is Mystic. This is a good little song of his.
Kenny Smith is a petty bitch. He's got many tricks for the penny grift. King Doxer had a heavy fit because the White Will said that his belly's big. I'll be harsh with a big black pill. Did you know that Mark is a 7 shill? Did you know the bars from a diss track kill? She was minor, but I bet that you kissed that still. You said that the camp was an ethno state. It was more like a metro train. Now you're selling soap like it's Tesco, mate. Talk optics, but why was your ex so bait?
I can't wait for the full diss track. Man, that was excellent, bro. That was absolutely brilliant. Over to you, bro.
Yeah. He's got some good songs. It's not for everyone. A lot of people don't like the rap, but I think it conveys a message, especially for like young people. It's what young people want, and it's a young people scene. I think it's more than rap. It's lyrical genius. I mean, it takes some skill for what he does. I couldn't do it. You know, I'm all right with my words, but you know, it's the way he thinks up his tunes is pretty class, I think.
It is, man. That was pretty epic, to be fair. That was pretty epic, and I can't wait for the full version.
Yeah, but so yeah, I've been arrested. 2 other activists have been arrested. This is the first lot of charges I've gotten, but another activist, uh, he's gotten several charges. But they're all shite. You'll be handing out leaflets, and they'll lift him for breach of the peace or shite like that, and like trying to legally search him and search his car and that. But I mean, he's fighting it. He's got a good solicitor, so he's really fighting them on it, which is good. But you know, it is a struggle, especially when you can't afford a good solicitor. But
yeah, I'm in the same position, bro. I'm in the same position, but like, if I have to represent myself in the end, I'll do it. Like, I'd rather. Like, I've got a good job as well, man. I've actually told my manager today. I've told my manager, I said, look, this is a situation I'm in. I could go guilty and pay a fine. I mean, this might happen anyway. I'm not saying I'm going to go down. It's so stupid, but I don't know. You know, what's going to happen. But I told my manager, I said, look, this is what I've done. Yeah, I've allegedly done. And he's like, fair play to you, man. I've got children. I would never ever take them to a drag queen story. So, like, hearing comments like that and what you guys have done, I'm sure that in many pubs or, you know, at work, what you guys have done, people will say, you know what, fair play to you, man. You've got the fucking balls to stand up. And I think that's the main problem with the British people, to a degree. Like, I love the British people. I'm not slagging them off. I think they fear of what's going to happen. They'll speak about it in the pub or at work, but they won't do it so publicly because they know that they could face punishment and potentially jail time. And like everyone that's facing jail time or a charge, you know, whether you're in PA or not, like, obviously I'm not a fan of PA, well, the hierarchy, obviously they don't get charged, they don't get nothing. But the members, I love the members because they're great activists. And anyone that's standing up for our people that's not paid by the state, you know, I salute you.
Yeah, I mean, there is some great activists in PA for sure. I mean, I respect a lot of the activists in PA, but there are issues with the leadership. It's like, you know, leaders should be bold, brave men that you could stand behind. You know, heroes. But I think PA has a lack of heroes at this point.
Yeah, I think their heroes are the actual genuine members. I would call them the heroes, and I feel bad because when I've called them out, some of them get offended, and I get it. Yeah, I was like, well, I'm not slagging you off. I'm slagging off the people I knew, you know, on a daily basis, and I've seen how they treat not just me, but many people. And I'm glad that you guys have now come out. But like, I've spoken. I don't know about you actually. I've spoken to many of your guys actually when the first fallout happened, and I have to give you guys credit because I know what they've done to you, and I know not you personally, well, the bunch of you, yeah, because there's been different reasons with a bunch of you, and that's how the Highland Division formed. And I have to give you guys credit because you never once, you just set your own group up and you've done your own thing. And the only time you called them out was this weekend, and we'll go into that shortly. But first of all, I want to talk about your experience with PA. Obviously, great membership. I want to talk about your experience with PA and how the downfall began and how the Highland Division first formed. Over to you, bro.
Yeah, so I mean, I'd known about PA for a while, and it was during I think it was a live talk on a Telegram where I went on and I spoke to Mark, and I was like, you know, I've known about it for a while, and I was following it as it became. And you know, my mate said, "Oh, Mark Collette's back on the scene, starting something." I was like, "Oh, that's something I'll look out for." And I decided to join, and it was like there's a process for joining. You know, your name and your address, and your address has to get checked out, so PA will know where you live. So that's something that puts a lot of people off. But at this point, I'm thinking, maybe those people that are put off by giving them their address, maybe they might be on the right side, to be honest. But PA was good. I met a lot of good people in PA, like a lot of good nationalists, a lot of good men on the ground. I did a lot of activism. I wasn't in for too long. I did a lot of leaflets, and I attended the camp. And it all sort of started going downhill after the camp. I was in disagreement with different people at the camp, and there was I met Mystic at the camp, and me and him were hanging out. They all went for the hike, and I was sort of disheartened because if you're holding in a picture a White Lives Matter banner with people that might not necessarily represent that statement, because
Whoa, whoa. Step back a bit there. Are you implying that people at the PA camp was not necessarily of British descent, should we say?
Yeah.
Okay, like this is where I have trouble, because and you know what? I've got to give hats off to PA, because you had the Independent Nationalist Network, largely of English people, mainly of the West Midlands, all come together thanks to a PA camp. Actually, a PA camp actually set up the INN, and it sounds like it might have had a bit to play with the Highland Division. So I do actually thank Patriotic Alternative a lot for making many friends, and so thank you. But enough's enough. But over to you, bro. Like this camp, I remember Mark Lett doing some massive video. We created the ethno state. Yeah, are you talking about the last camp? Yeah, like last year.
Yeah.
He done a video saying we finally created the ethno state, and now you're saying it's not exactly the ethno state he was maybe referring to.
I think there was about 5 people that were of a different origin. They're all completely different as well. They all came from different backgrounds, which I thought was interesting. It's like the PA diversity has diversity. So that was, but quoting Mystic, an ethno state, it was more like in a metro train. Although that was a bit of an exaggeration, but the lyric does hit a bone.
However, what I would say on PA's defense, which I can actually debunk it, but I'll see if you can debunk it. What they'll say is it is against the law to discriminate against non-whites from joining your movement. So PA could have actually been fined, sued, maybe even put into a terrorist bracket for rejecting non-whites from coming to that event.
Well, so PA prides itself on its lengthy vetting process. And, at any point in that vetting process, they could just say no for any reason. I don't even think they need a reason. They could just stop speaking to someone, and that will be the end of that, It's like people can apply for membership, and I'm sure they could make up any reason they like. They make up any old bullshit reason to kick people out, I'm sure. I think it...
Yes.
I think it. As it goes, it's a token. They have token minorities, because I think deep down we all know the intent of them. They like to portray this image to the public. They have this other image behind closed doors. The Highland Division doesn't have members. So, it has activists. It's like, anyone from any background could partake. And it's like if we'll post up some of the activism you do. But it's not an organization or a political organization. We can choose who we want to be friends with. That is still a right as human beings that we hold. We can decide who we want to be friends with. But
yeah.
I think a lot of this thing with them saying, "Oh, you have to." I don't know, because at the end of the day, a lot of what they do won't get them anywhere near being a political party. Having ex members of National Action, stuff like that, people associated with banned terrorist organizations, I don't think that'll get you into politics. But then again, looking at the history of British politics, who knows?
They have absolutely ludicrous optics. I mean, that's what's so bizarre. We will watch that video shortly. The ludicrous suggestion that you guys have terrible optics from Kenny Smith of all fucking people, or Martin Clare, is absolutely bizarre. Yeah. But going back onto the multiculturalism, and I get like, oh, we can't just turn people down for being non-white. Yeah, but like as you said, they make any old bollocks up to get rid of people like yourself. You know, they rubbish it. Yeah, they go on the shows. You seen the other day, bro. The rubbish. Oh, they're just retards. They're just retards. The retard division. You know, they could just say things like that, can't they? And get rid of you guys. So why can't they just say to a bunch of non-whites like, you can't come? Well, why is that? Is it because I'm black? You can't come because it's sold out. I'm sorry. There's only 150 spaces and it's sold out. You will not get done. That's just one example of many you can use. So this example, Mark has been on a show, by the way, talking to a black American. How do I help PA? Well, you can join up and you can donate, blah, blah, blah. Like, no wonder he's getting called a bloody silver. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's absolutely... It's absolutely ridiculous. But any more on the camp? I did hear. I heard two stories actually at the camp. I'll go with the first one. A guy was actually kicked out because he didn't tell the camp leader that he went out and bought cigarettes. He left the camp just to buy cigarettes, came back, and they weren't happy with that because he didn't inform the teacher. Are we in school, bro? What the fuck, bro?
Well, that was part and parcel of the issue that they brought up with me and Mystic. So me and Mystic went on a walk, but I don't know if you know the area that these camps are in. It's like
Was it Edo or around that area?
I can't remember, but it's like I looked at a map and I was like, here, bro, we wanted to get some snacks, some smokes and stuff. It's like they can go for their hike and hold their banner. We'll just go for a walk and enjoy the countryside. But we didn't know it was going to take that long. Because I saw on a map, I was like, a couple of miles up the road, there's a town, mate. We'll just go there. And we walk all the way to there. It was a small town. All it had was a hotel. And there was no shop to speak of. So we sit and we have a pint and have a chit chat, chat to some locals and that. And they're like, oh, where can we go for a shop? And it's like, oh, over there. And it's like, but before I was like, mate, there's a church tower over there. And where there's a church, there's got to be a shop. It was way on the other side of the valley. So we thought, you know what? We'll fill up our water bottles and we'll go for it. And we hiked all the way to the other side, went to the shop, bought our provisions, and went for another pint in the town. It was quite funny. We went for a pint, but the local church bell was broken, so it was dinging off for the next 20 minutes that we were sat there. It was just going off constantly. So we made the hike back, and it took so long. We were out longer than the guys that done the banner drop. So,
yeah, but your own people, like, they shouldn't have an issue with that, surely.
But we let the security. They left someone on security from, I believe it was PA Scotland. So we let them know. It's like, we're going out to the shop. Okay, whether he conveyed the messages on him. The guys left. People knew we were going to a shop, and we weren't going on a hike. People knew, but they can't say that we didn't tell them. I mean, I'm sure they will. I'm sure they'll say that we just disappeared. But I mean, this is just my truth that I'm telling. It's the truth for our side. It's like they'll. I mean, what they say.
Well, if you had the chance, I mean, it's never going to happen because I've asked for it for myself. If I could guarantee you right now a debate with someone in PA Scotland or anyone in PA, would you do it?
Yeah, I'd go for it.
With how you was treated and like how they obviously, we'll watch the video shortly with how Kenny describes you guys. All right, Kenny, we'll go with Kenny. Would you debate Kenny Smith live?
Yeah, I'd speak to him. We've made countless attempts to communicate with Kenny Smith, but he only communicates in I don't know, shouting and swearing and trying to start a fight. That's the only communication that we got with him since we all got kicked out of here. I had some communication with him after the camp. He was in a disagreement with like the clothes I wear and my sentiment behind it. And we started up a chat group. It's like maybe we should do some of our own activism on the side, because PA is kind of blackpilling us with this stuff, and like we made videos chatting shit about the camp and stuff like that, and it's like it's like we're disheartened about it, and it's like we'll get our own little side club going, for people that want to do a bit of other activism. But then PA found out about it, and we all got kicked out. And Kenny Smith said that that's us done with. I think that's what annoyed him more. It's like we got a message saying
he said you're done with because you set up your own little group of like doing your own little thing aside from
well, we all got banned and kicked out, and we all got DM'd a picture of our group logo and our name, and it was
okay, so let's go through one by one. Yeah, I mean, obviously I don't know how many there is, but give me some examples. Why was you kicked out? First of all, go for yourself.
Why was I kicked out? Because I think it was they didn't say exactly. I think it was because we badmouthed some of the members, and some PA spies leaked the messages. But they said it was.
Let's go for it. What did you badmouth the members? Because people, I want to get through to the bottom of this because they're gonna be watching, bro. They're gonna be watching. Oh, well, can you blame Kenny Smith, King Kenny Kebab, the hero of the hour? Can you blame him for kicking you out when you're badmouthing PA members? So I want you to go through it detail, in detail to realise why you've done what you've done. And for people to realise that Kenny Smith is a fucking evil, horrible bastard. But obviously,
I think in general we all just got kicked out because of we were disheartened by the camp. We were vocal about it, and then we started the group, and we were bad mouthing Kenny and bad mouthing PA, and how the camp wasn't up to our what we expected and what we'd hoped for more than anything.
What did you hope for?
What's that?
What did you hope for?
Well, I hope for the ethno state. I hope for a good camp where. But I met a lot of civnats and people whose ideology I didn't line up with, and it's like that's what happens in PA, because it's got this like contradiction of like, the people that the message that the people believe in, and then what they pretend to believe in, and then you've got the different types of people mixed in the middle, and it's like well, these people are like just like conservatives from the 60s. These people are just old-fashioned Tories, but it's other people, it's like these people are militant national socialists, and it's like it's all mixed together in one with a pinch of diversity. And it's like this, and we were wanting to do our own activism. They said that we breached like code of conduct or something. I could probably bring up the email for you. I think I still have it somewhere. But
okay, if you want to have a couple of seconds looking for that'd be great.
Go
on.
I'll have to DM it to you probably after the show, and you could post it differently.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. I mean, I agree. I mean, I was part of PA Eastern. I was baffled. I'm not going to name them. I was like, well, why ain't your girlfriend here? Well, she's Chinese. I was like, what the fuck are you doing with a Chinese? What the fuck? What are you here for, bro? Like, I thought we're here for the like indigenous people of our island. I didn't think we're here like supporting white people with Chinese people. Like we even. Like, I remember, right, my first camp here. I'm so sorry to the guy. I'm not going to mention your name, bro, but I'm sure most people can work out. But I'm so baffled by this. I remember I went to the first camp, bro, and I walked to get a cup of coffee, for someone and a cup of tea for myself. And I walked there, and I'm seeing Mark Collette give a big hug to an Indian girl, and I'm thinking, what have I just walked into here? What on earth have I just walked into? Obviously, that Indian girl ended up being with someone. Not going to mention the name. I actually like him, but still, you're a traitor to your people.
Not very 14 words of you.
It's not very 14, and still for many months, continuing this forward. I just don't get it, man. You know, and I really don't understand it. It's not white nationalism. It's not English nationalism. Well, I'm more English nationalist, yeah, where like I'd rather support the English people first, or and the British people first. Obviously, I probably would say British first if it weren't for Britain first. But I can't. I don't really want to say white first because I don't want Polish, Russians, Serbians. I like Serbia. I don't want them all living here in England and Britain. So that's why I support Britain first, really. But I don't. But I say England first because Britain first is a Zionist organisation. So I have to go back to England first.
Yeah, I mean, I believe charity starts at home. It's like how are you supposed to, heal the world if you're damaged yourself? It's like charity starts at home, and it's like if you walk the streets of Britain or any city, you just see it, and it just like you see your people struggling and fighting, and veterans as well, people who've fought and died, and people who have injured, it's like, well, some of their comrades are dead, that's like some of them have got injuries and like mental health disorders, but do you know what? They don't get a house, no house for you. People that are more likely to fight against our own nation get first priority when it comes to housing, apparently.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Absolutely agree, mate. All right, we're going to move on. Let's talk a little bit more. I want to talk about obviously Sunday's event, big story, but I do want to discuss the Highland Division a little bit more before we move on to that. So, what is the Highland Division actually about? What is the sort of activism you have been doing and will be doing in the future?
So the Highland Division is a group with no leadership. I call it a group, but that's like I don't know if that's the most accurate term. So there's no leadership, there's no active membership. Anyone can get involved. Anyone, like all of our materials are open source, so anyone can download them and use them. It's anyone's welcome to discuss it with us and talk about us. It's like if I mean there are like inner circles in that. People have to protect themselves with you've got feds and commies and journalists, all these fronts trying to attack you. So some people are more private than others. I'm probably on the less private sort of scale of it, along with some of my other fellow comrades that get put in the news articles and whose pictures are all on the internet, or who does videos, But I mean, we mainly do stickering, postering. We do sort of like I wouldn't quite say news, but we post articles and stuff like that on our channel, and we do meetups and banner drops. A banner drop is a good thing. I think meeting up with your fellow brothers and dropping a banner at a significant place. I think people say it's like, I think it's a good piece of activism. It's like some people talk down. It's like, oh, what's that going to achieve? Dropping a banner. It's like, well, it's a lot more than you'd expect. It gets it'll get you.
It gets the word out. It gets people's attention as people that, especially if you're doing it in a public place. Surely. Yeah.
I mean, it could get you charged with something. So you're probably doing something right if the state hates it that much that they'll try and throw you in prison for it.
Yeah. If you don't want to be charged, just call yourself Mark Collette and you'll be all right. Right. Okay. So yeah, that sounds good, man. That sounds good. So what is the plans moving forward? Because I know you guys, we're going to move on to Sunday's event very shortly, guys. But like you guys, I've watched your channel, man. It's growing insanely, and you're getting support from, a lot bigger than Scotland, a lot bigger than England, Australia, America, across Europe. And if they want to join, they can't call themselves a Highland Division. What do they do? Are you going to come up with a new name? Are you going to have a division name for the rest of Europe? Are you going to have like a one whole name? Like, obviously, not going to call yourself Patriotic Alternative, but will you have a brand name and you'll have the Highland Division under that brand name? Is there any plan going forward, or is that just in discussions at the moment?
I don't think we'll I don't think it'll be taken internationally because I mean, I think it should be distinct to every peoples and nations. You know, everyone has a culture, so they're going to have their own distinct culture of nationalism. I think there's been people interested from like England and Wales. I think maybe we have encouraged other people to start their own grip under their own names. I think we might just carry on with that. You know, work very closely with people in starting their own thing, but I don't know if we'll franchise, so to speak.
Yeah, okay, what you're saying. So you would be like, okay, well, we've got the Highland Division, and you Brummies sell the Peaky Blinders Division breeches. Like that's what you need to do. Is that the sort of thing you go for?
The Brummie division.
The Brummie Peaky Blind Division. We're coming for you, Kenny Smith. We're coming for you, bro. We're coming to take over.
It's like the Nookie Brown Ale sub branch, the Highland Division, come into Newcastle.
Absolutely. All right. We'll move forward. We're going to talk about Sunday, which probably a lot of people are waiting to hear. Obviously, Sunday. What happened? So, well, first, what was your intentions from going? So, obviously, Kenny Smith, PA. They clearly hijacked an event. You know, the campaign organisers already said we don't want nothing to do with them. We're pointing out a Sunday, which officially means they hijacked the event. They've hijacked the drag queen story events from us as well. You know, like I smashed it as well. The one I'm getting arrested for, bro. By the way, the drag queen story hour event I'm getting arrested for. I held a demonstration. Yeah, we got it closed down. I'm getting arrested and charged for that. PA done a live stream and took all the credit, by the way. They were like, yeah, we shut down North Walsham. We sent a bunch of emails. Yeah, mate, I'm the one facing fucking prosecution for this. Absolute lying masters these people are.
Yeah. So I just want to say to people that like we had no bad blood with PA. Like before this, like I mean, they kicked us out. We left it at that. You know, it's like, you know, we're gonna take our path. They're taking theirs. But like Sunday was the catalyst, and it's like it's pissed us off massively, and it's really shown their true colors. Because I mean, when we got to the protest, it was I mean, of course, it was shown online. You know, the locals pulled out because they didn't want anything to do with PA. There goes their hearts and minds. They want nothing to do with you. You know, they keep talking about image. I think once people give you that label, I mean, there's no shift in it when you've got 50 articles calling you one thing. It's like, you know, it's like, oh, don't believe the media. But I mean, a majority of people will. We don't really care what the media says. I think we laugh and joke about it and take it and run with it. But I mean, so I was shaking hands with the PA activists. That's the first thing I did when I got there.
Yeah, we have to stress PA activists, superb people. Yeah, we have to stress that they're really good people. We were all across the country last year with the Drag Queen Story Hour. They were fantastic people. Like when I speak about PA, I do not mean the activists. I have to stress this point. It's the hierarchy. But over to you, sir.
But yeah, no, I can't stress that enough either. It's good people. I started shaking hands with the activists, and I got on my megaphone to have a go at the communists. You know, commie scum, go home. Erskine says, no one wants you here. And then Kenny Smith came right up to me and barged in at me, like having a go at me, like swearing at me, trying to get me to fight him. And I'm like, what are you doing, mate? And then people are going in, breaking us up. People are calling us Antifa. People are shouting at us Antifa. It's like, why would you think we're Antifa? Yeah, we've got a video of someone screaming at me on a megaphone shouting Antifa as the police are taking me away. And then while one of our other activists was at the front, while the police took me aside and were asking my details, Kenny Smith then went and tried harassing another one of our members. And this was right at the end of the protest. You know, it's like it was a open public protest.
Well,
a lot of the locals pulled out. We went towards the end because we were.
Let me play devil's advocate. Why are you attending a protest that is pretty much going to be largely PA as a? Well, you're not an anti-PA group. You've been booted out. Why are you guys attending not just a PA protest? Well, they've hijacked it. I know that. Yeah. But now you know they've hijacked it. Why are you guys attending so late?
I mean, it was more circumstance as well, but we knew that PA were going to have their thing, so we weren't necessarily wanting to get all up involved in that, because we don't have anything to do with them. But it was circumstance as well. I was like, well, it works out because we don't want really too much to do with them. We were there because it's a public protest. We believe in the message, and we don't like lefties. We really don't like lefties. So any chance to mog the left is a chance we'll take. We'll hand out some of our White Lives Matter leaflets. I'll probably do some speeches and some talking on a megaphone. But it was all disrupted. It would have been totally peaceful. We would have had no beef with PA, and none of this would have happened. None of this would have came out. It would all be silent. But Kenny Smith had to go and ruin it.
What sort of stuff was you saying? Again, I'm going to play devil's advocate for Kenny Smith's sake. I'm going to stick up for you, Mr. King Kebab. What was you saying on the megaphone for him to react the way he reacted?
But I mean, we got there and we heard the leftists chanting. They were blasting a megaphone all day. So it's like, if they're going to be loud, we'll be louder. So it's like, commie scum, go home. Erskine says no.
That's what you were saying. Commie scum, go home.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. That's all right. That's not bad. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, I was just having a go at the leftists, So I don't like commies. I don't like commies much. So any chance to get a whole group of them and blast them on a megaphone, I'll take that chance. That's a good opportunity. I mean, they're all gathered in the same place, so you can mog them all at once. I mean, that's a pretty good opportunity. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. Not that I want to bring up shooting, Mr. Police Officer. I don't have any firearms. You know that. You searched my house. So
What?
It's like,
he searched your house?
yeah, I mean, they kicked down the door. About 10 of them.
I thought you were talking about Kenny Smith searched your house.
Oh, no.
No, his friends searched your house.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, his friends. Oh, that's another thing. So the police were right on top of us, and then
we'll go through his. We'll go through what he said on his show the other day, but it is a little bit of a mystery, isn't it? Like he literally admitted as well on another. Oh, we've been speaking to the police, and the police also. Actually, it's on this show. Actually, we'll watch this.
The police had told us that there was idiots coming in. That they thought was going to disrupt the thing.
All right, so the police told his mate Kenny Smith here, who doxed the BNP list, who sold Matt Single down in the drain. He was the mate. He was the one that took the fall. But Kenny Smith, Steve Blake, and the girl, I can't remember her name now. Yeah, these four people were so upset at being kicked out of the BNP because of Mark Collette as well, and they're all working together. How have you not got this in your mind now, by the way, guys? Anyone listening to this and you've not figured this out by now, you are I'm not going to say anything special, but think about it. Yeah, do your research. But what's your thoughts on that so far? That's only 10 seconds in.
Yeah, I mean, the police telling them that they were going to be there, I really don't think so. I really don't think so at all. He sent spies in that we knew about. So we knew that his plants were in the chat and knew that we were coming. We told them they were coming, that we were coming. They knew right from the start. And it's like, this protest, like, yeah, we'll go. We'll tell PA that we're going to be there. They sent spies into the chat. I don't know why. Like, I don't know what they were going to find out.
Mate, this is what they do. They send spies in the chat. Yeah, he's got his missus. Yeah, this has already been put out, by the way. And if I'm not showing it on this show, but if you want to see the evidence, you can message me on Telegram or my email bcfcmeets2020@gmail.com. I can send it to you. Yeah, this is about the Highland Division guys. What they done, they sent Claire to send this guy called Dev or whatever his name was. Right, go and infiltrate the INN. Get their names, get their addresses, get everything. It's all screenshotted, by the way. The guy comes in, bro, tries to infiltrate us, and within a month, he said, "You know what? I'm going to be honest with you guys. I've been sent in here to infiltrate you and get all your addresses and everything, but you're that nice, guys. I've got to tell you the truth. They want me to send you all your addresses and names and everything." And he showed us the screenshots. It's already been put out in public. We've already got it. Yeah, I'm not putting it on this stream. It's not about our. This is what they do. And if they want to call you guys retards or us retards, stop sending people to infiltrate us as well. Like, it's absolutely bizarre. Over to you, bro.
Yeah, it's a massive, like, it's an organization. It's like you'd think PA would be like, oh, if you don't want to join PA and you want to start your own group, we'll support you. It's PA or the highway, and they actively try and destroy other groups. Like, why? And it's like, well, I mean, in that little picture there, that clip, you got Sam Melly in the top right. You know, Sam Melly with his connections to National Action. It's like, why would they be friends with the police? You know, it's like, get Kenny Smith up on gun charges. Why is he friends with the police? I'm not friends with the police. Why would I be friends with the police?
Mate, like, we like, in my Tommy Robinson days, I used to set up demos here, and I read through everything here, and maybe he can expose me on this, and we'll have a live stream. Kenny, bro, come on a live stream, we can expose it all. Like, I was told, if you're going to set up a demo, you do not need to tell the police unless, yeah, and even though I wouldn't do that anyway, unless you're going on a march around a certain area. So if you're walking around like Glasgow, you would pretty much legally have to tell the police, otherwise you could be fucked. But if you're doing a static demo, which they were doing, you do not need to discuss to the police. Again, maybe I'm wrong. Kenny, come on a live stream, bro. Let's discuss it all. But you won't.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy to discuss it in like a civilized manner, because I mean, like, but we also offered to do a charity boxing match with Kenny. If Kenny really wants to fight us, then we can have a boxing match, and it's £5 a ticket. All proceedings go to charity. We'll live stream it. All donations will go to charity. And if you want to fight one of our activists, you can. You can box it out in a ring, and all proceeds will go to charity. But I don't think he'll answer that anyway.
They won't do that. They won't do that. I've been through all this before. All they just do is call you. They're concerned trolls, and we get 6 million people watching us and come to our demos every single week. They talk absolute bullshit, and this is. I'm grateful to interview people like yourself. You guys are witnessing everything that I've been through, my friends have been through. You know, these guys are the biggest scumbags in the entire fucking world. And you guys have now witnessed that in person, yeah? They're literally trying to bully you off a demonstration for our people.
A public one.
Yeah, a public. Then they've already sabotaged. And the audacity is like, yeah.
Hello?
I think, oh, the Highland Division boys, the retard boys have hijacked our demo. You fucking fat bastard. And you know what? I don't normally agree with fat shaming people, but this scumbag, yeah, and I don't know if you want to add on to this scumbag has been like targeting a friend of mine. Yeah, he's a bit larger, he's a bit overweight, yeah. He's disabled, yeah. He receives help. He's disability allowance, yeah. And this cunt is trying to send people round to his house to scare him. He has been trying to send people round to his area to write paedophile on his fat paedophile on walls nearby. The audacity of this guy to label a disability person fat. when he looks the fucking size of an absolute giant whale. Fuck you, Kenny Smith, bro. Fuck you.
Yeah. No, I'm kind of happy that we've managed to unite the right a bit in the use of the term kebab king. It's like that's all it took to get us all on board was using the term kebab king.
King kebab. And he's like, no, he's like, they're all triggered the other day. We're laughing at you, bro. We're fucking laughing at you. People want you in a if you want to have a little fight, there's a charity box match available. There's debates available. Kenny Smith, you are finished, bro. You're a fucking fed. You're a state agent. You know, you doxed the BNP list as well. You fucking wanker.
Yeah, it's like liaisoning with the police. I heard someone say that they saw him with his arm around the police officer. It's like
that was also reported as well. Yeah. But this is what he's doing. You guys are on fucking you're on probation, or on bail, and you can face jail time. If you attacked him last weekend, you'd have been on remand until court, or your boys.
Yeah, I mean
this is what he was aiming for. This is what exactly this little fat bastard was aiming for. The fed bastard. Now, why ain't none of these being pulled up? Why is it always us?
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think that he told the police that there's people coming, they're going to hurt me, and he goaded us into trying to hit him. But the totally non-violent activists of HD, acted accordingly with the utmost honor of men in the face of, what is just outrageously, it's not good for PA optics. I don't think that goes under the guidelines of their code and conduct. And the worst part of it is, right, other PA activists saw it, and that's worse for them because they're seeing how their leaders act,
No, so someone messaged me. I'm not going to reveal the name. I'm not a snake to these people. I'm only fuck these people on screen, by the way. But he said, Chris, you're not helping the situation, are you? It's like, yeah, I am helping the situation. I'm helping my boys, the Highland Scotland, the boys, you know what I mean? They've been assaulted. They're my people. And you're not helping your boys. You're literally watching your own people get assaulted and get away with it and putting their arm around police. But yeah, let's play on with the rest of the video, bro. So
And sure enough, they did show up right at the very end. I think there was about 6 of them.
I think we were packing away. I think.
We'd already pretty much all packed in.
Does that mean anything to you? Like, because they're packed away, you don't allow. By the way, like when I went on demos before, like they were always like 3 hours. Like, what's this hot 1.5 hour demonstration? Like, I don't know. It's just a Scottish thing because like when I'm going on demonstrations, it's got 3 hours would be my time, like an hour and a half. 4.
That's what we were under the assumption. We thought it'd be going on a lot longer, But one of our guys was there from like at 9 o'clock. So we didn't all turn up at the last minute. They say we turned up at the last minute. It's like, nah, some of us, we made ourselves fully present at the last minute. Because, it's like, well, PA are pissing off. PA are pissing off.
Well, I mean, like, all I see is the left. Yeah, they celebrate. They're like, well done, guys. Well done. The fascists have only lasted an hour and a half hours. What a victory to us. We were there for 2.5. Like, mate, we're not like, again, I'm not obviously a Tommy Robinson fan now, but when we used to do these Tommy Robinson demos, we were there for 3 hours, man, and we weren't moving until the left moved. We used to tell the police, like, move those bastards, and then when we're going, mate, if you're making a standpoint for your people, an hour and a fucking half, you're an absolute embarrassment. Yeah, you're an absolute embarrassment. Go on.
The commies were stood there like 50 strong right until the end. They were the last to leave.
It's all about a battle, bro. Whoever leaves first loses. And these guys, like, they do it all the time. It's like, oh, it's only an hour and a half. We need to get home now to our stream so we can ask for some entropy links. Oh, mate, honestly, an hour and a half.
it's like I saw the articles, all the contradictions, like all the statements, like you get the statements from the left and the right, PA statements about the whole thing, and it's like they're both bigging themselves up, and it's like there's two sides of the story and there's the truth, but we can't find the truth or the other side of the story because none of these guys will talk to us. But one thing you'll notice, right, is no one from PA is denying what happened.
No, of course they won't.
If it was a lie. If it was a lie, they deny it, but it's not. It's the truth. The guys in PA.
To be fair, they addressed it, and I'll give them credit for this video. They've addressed it because it's made plenty of noise. I've looked at the figures. Highland Scottish. You're just a Highland Scottish Division. You are making more headlines than Patriotic Alternative, an actual British organisation. Having, and they're 4 years old, and you guys are challenging them. When INN, Independent Nationalist Network, still they
bounced in like they were coming to it.
They tried to shut us down, When we hit 60,000 views on a drag queen story hour video, straight away, Mark Collett was like, doing a show this Friday. Laura Towler was like, can't wait for this Friday, and it was Mark Collett rambling on. INN are placing farmers. They're home not hate spies. It's because INN had fucking numbers in the bank. One of the founding policies of the INN is never ask for a single donation. We will go to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week, and we will pay our way to do something. These cretins, right in front of us, all four of them, and Mark Collett, they rely on donations. They rely on you giving them your address. It's as simple as that.
I'll be back in just a minute if you just want to keep talking. I'll be back in just a minute.
All right. Okay, guys. So he's just going to be back in a minute. So we'll watch the rest of this.
To like a prize fighter coming to boxing, but looking like dafties, with a wee megaphone, tried to goad the opposition, and while
standing completely and utterly the furthest point away from them as they possibly could. Literally, there was 100 locals and PA activists between them and the opposition.
Yeah. So a demonstration that we'd organised right from the start. They'd come.
Opposition.
Yeah. So a demonstration that we'd organised right from the start.
Did they organise it from the start, or did they hijack it from someone else?
I don't think they organised it right from the start, to be honest. And as soon as they got on board, all the locals pulled out. So I mean, they didn't want anything to do with PA. You'd think that PA would appreciate, a couple of nationalists showing up to show their support, being, loud and proud, but I guess not.
Yeah, I guess not. Yeah, well, like they've done the same thing with Drag Queen Story Hour. Like they just sabotage events. But I'll give them credit because it's called propaganda. They'll bring their big banners and everything, so it makes it look like it's their event. They've done this in every event. I've not seen them set up their own event as of yet. And obviously, and if they were right with the numbers, actually, because they said there was only 40, they said there was 40, bearing in mind a lot of the people with PA were English going to Scotland. That's 3 to 4 years work, 40 people of their own admission, if that was correct. That's pretty poor numbers, to be honest.
Yeah, I think with numbers with things like these, it's always blown out of proportion. They always add a few extra. I mean, when they talk about how many people were there when we were starting, there wasn't that many. There's probably more Reds left, to be honest. There's probably more lefties left than
They pack their bags after an hour and a half. That's embarrassing, man. You need to be staying there and making sure that you're the last one standing. Just going there. Let's do a few speeches and fuck off after an hour. I think that's embarrassing. And letting the Reds take over. They're the same in Leeds, man. There was a picture of the Reds, like, celebrating in the PA's area. And I'm like, man, how could you do that, man? Don't let anyone take over your area. Don't just pack up your bags of it. Our job is done. Let's go home. Your job is not done until they go. Mate, have some bottle, man.
I mean, they just want their content, don't they? They want their content. They'll post like 10 articles about it. They'll post like 10 video edits. They'll do like 3 live streams talking about it. And it's like, why are you milking it so much? Well, I talk about milking. All we've been talking about is what's happened, but we're really, really pissed off about what's happened because you don't expect it from your own people. That's the last place you expect it from. Like, we went there high energy. It's like, let's confront these commies. Let's state some facts on the Holodomor. Let's say that Frederick Engels wanted the Scottish Highlanders genocided, and he promoted that in his writings. But it's like I got halfway through the crowd with my loudspeaker before Kenny Smith started his shite.
So, okay, so he started his shite. Did he just come up to him like, guys, like, yeah, we're packing up now, like, can we just move on now, like, or did he genuinely try to intimidate you guys with violent activity?
He like, I was facing the commie crowd on my loudspeaker. My girlfriend was there.
By the way, they were also saying that there was. So they were saying they were in the middle. You was on the other side, and you was nowhere near the commies. Like they're trying to say in this aspect.
I was making my way through it. Like, when we got there, a lot of people thought we were leftists, so we were arguing with people that were making their way out as we were getting in, because they all thought we were leftists for some reason. I think maybe someone like, so it said some words or something, because it's like, why would they all think we were leftists? It's like, it doesn't make too much sense, but I don't know. So I was making my way through the crowd, and then Kenny Smith came out of nowhere, barged into me, pushed me. It was swearing in my face, and then it's like people got involved, pushed us away, and it's like, oh, what are you doing? It's like, there's no need for that. I was like, don't touch me. Like, some other guy intervened, and he was like, had his arm on me, I shoved it out of the way. It's like, don't touch me, mate. I'm not Antifa. I don't know what he's starting on. Then the police came and pulled us aside. And then he went up to the other activist. And he was pushing him, shoving him, getting in his face, shouting at him. Then he got pulled away by police, and that's when they ran my fellow activist details, and he got lifted for breach of bail. I mean, he was he's so dedicated. He was breaching his bail conditions just to be there with us. Now that's dedication.
It is dedication, and there will be some of these people like, well, he deserves it. He deserves it. This is what the PA people are like, well, he deserves it. You tried to sabotage their events. Like, they done an amazing. No, I'm just saying from a PA supporter simp aspect. Like, PA done amazing. Kenny Smith stood loud and proud on that scaffolding stand, as well as the other Scottish/English people in Scotland. You know, like, why did you turn up right at the end? That's the kind of questions they will ask you.
Yeah, I mean, but what I said, it was a circumstance, and at the end, it's like, PA can have their moment. We're there for the commies. You know, we were wanting to be the last people to leave, and we were some of the last people to leave. We were in the car, and we were, you know, I was giving it to them on the loudspeaker from the car. I'm sure there's some videos of something somewhere. It's like, I don't know, maybe there's clips of it. Maybe I'll get nicked for that. Who knows?
But let's get things straight. You did not intend to go there to cause violence with the commies or anyone else.
Oh no. We're totally non-violent. We're a non-violent organization. What part. I mean, I keep saying organization. I'd say movement maybe. Movements may be more of a better term, or I don't know. But you know, we're totally non-violent. We have a non-violence. It's like, no, we condemn violence. We'll never condone violence. Any one of our people that says that they're with us and carries out violence, it's like, that's not us, right? We don't promote it at all. It's not promoted anywhere.
Fair enough. Right, let's move on, bro.
Come in and start distributing literature that's going to undermine the Hearts and Minds campaign we had for locals. We won the Hearts and Minds of the locals on Sunday. We've done a lot of positive work support.
Any comments towards the comments there, mate?
I mean, well, the literature we were handing out was White Lives Matter pamphlets. So,
But they do that on a yearly basis. Indigenous people do.
Yeah. So our White Lives Matter pamphlets are from the White Lives Matter movement. We'll have some of those on our Telegram page. I'm happy to send them to you. I mean, hearts and minds of the locals. I don't think you want any hearts and minds of the locals that we did speak to, that we were speaking to with the leaflets. We got good feedback from, and I think Simon there actually stole the leaflet off of one of the locals that we handed a leaflet to. He took it off of her, and we gave her another one. And one of our activists said, "You know, you can do him for assault for that." It's like, but. Yeah, I wasn't handing anything out. We were there all but 2 minutes before we started this show. It's like we're allowed to hand out leaflets, aren't we? Well, it's like so.
As far as I know, being PA, and you probably echo this, the moment you start questioning some of the leaders, as you can see on the stream, that is when you are facing trouble. That is when you face expulsion from the movement. Because they want yes men, they want people that they can control. But you know, people like us, we're not yes men, bro. We're not yes men. We're in it for our people. But when they do something wrong, you're going to call it out, aren't you? You're going to call it out, and they don't want to debate it. They'll be like, "No, I'm right. You do it my way or the highway." Fair play. That might be decent leadership to a degree. But that's ultimately the downfall of patriotic conservative, that they are trying to control the narrative all the time, and we would never be able to have a debate with them. You know, like I know full well you would smash all four of them in the debate. Absolutely, and so would I.
Yeah, I think it's because they'll never mention us by name. They'll slag us off and like call retard squad. We made our chat group name the retard squad, you know, because it's funny. And then another person called us Iron Brew Division. We did a little edit of it. If we're turning it into a sticker, it's like we've got stickers of it now. It's like Iron Brew Division. But I think like you know, with I mean, did they have like a copyright on all activism, like or any like if what? So as soon as PA's there, like no other groups allowed there. Because I heard that a guy from the INN got removed from one of their things.
Yeah, we'll show that video. I will show that video right after this. Should we show it now? No, we'll show this one just so I don't lose the minutes. But we will show that right after, before we end the show.
And you know, they came in like Daphne. So I just challenged them and said, "No, you're not welcome here. Away you go." You know, they're a retard squad who you know, wouldn't you know get entry into PA because
you wouldn't get entry into PA. Wasn't you already in PA, bro?
Now the free activists that were there, the one that got arrested and the two that he confronted were ex-PA. We were in PA.
Yeah. So it was in PA, man. They're too good for PA. Fuck you.
And it's not exactly like he had a conversation with me either. The guy or my fellow activist, he came up to us trying to start a fight. Like if you're out on the street, right, and someone barges into you, like literally face to face, right in your face, swearing at you, bumping into you, you know what are they trying to do? They're trying to start a fight with you. It's plain and simple. Everyone that was there that saw it knows it.
Yeah, of course. Well, he knows what he's doing. It's quite clear what he was doing. He knows you guys are on bail. It was their event. He's obviously been in league with the police. He admitted he was talking to the police that morning. We don't even have to talk about him doxing the BNP list. Oh, there's so many issues with this. How can you trust this guy, man? Like Mark Collette, Kenny Smith, Steve Black, these people have destroyed nationalism over the last 20 years. The best success in nationalism was the BNP. Who destroyed the BNP? These three guys. Who's in charge of... Oh, well, they're not in charge, but some of you might think they're in charge. Kenny Smith, Steve Blake, and Mark Collette's in charge of nationalism right now. Like, fucking hell, give your head a wobble, man. So, honestly.
Of their idiotic behaviour. and yet they seem to troll PA all the time. Telling constantly in inboxes, trying to go into groups. They actually the reason why I decided to challenge them and tell them they weren't welcome is because they came into some underground groups like the Facebook chat, I think, or the Telegram chat, and basically claimed that they were coming on Sunday and going to throw asylum seekers into the Clyde.
Right, okay. I'm going to ask you this because I agree with Kenny. If this happened, is this true that you went into the Facebook post saying you're going to throw asylum seekers into the Clyde?
No, that's a complete lie.
Oh, really?
Look, I back checked with all our activists. I said, right, did anyone say this? It's like, nah. I think where he's getting this from, right, is one of our activists made a joking comment about working out by chucking activists in the Clyde. We never like he's pulling it from shite. It's absolute shite. That's what it is. Absolute shite.
So, yeah, okay. So he just obviously pulled that up out of nowhere, or someone's leaked something from somewhere. Yeah, but again, like we can, like as a host, I don't know who to believe. I can believe Kenny Smith. I can believe Leggett here. Who knows? No evidence has been shown.
Yeah. If he provides evidence, I will sincerely write him an apology, and that's a promise. I will say, you know what? I sincerely apologize. If there's evidence of that happening, it's like, I sincerely apologize, mate. But until you produce that evidence, well, there you go.
I don't know. I like to be. I'm going to be probably a little bit biased. It does seem like he just, because I know how I've been treated and my mates have been treated. All they do is just lie to try and get our people in jail. As long as it says PA, the ultimate machine who works for police that never seem to get a knock on the door. That's how it seems. Like I don't care what anyone views me. It's like, oh, like Chris, you're talking rubbish. Well, I'm the one I'm the one going to court. Legat's also going to court. Mystic's going to court. Many of us, James Goddard, Alexi Patriot, so many people going to court that's not PA. Yet no one in the PAR hierarchy seems to get a single knock on the door. When will you start questioning this? But let's continue.
And we had two of the leaders of the local community campaign come and tell us, I hope these idiots aren't with you. They're going to damage the campaign. And I have reassured them, they're nothing to do with us. And that's the type of idiot, Fed posting, stupid behaviour that's given National a bad name. But is
this guy for real? This guy, right, has been on this. So he's talking about optics. There was two members of National Action at his own event that he invited. One more member would see not just him locked up, the whole PA membership locked up. You're living on a knife's edge, bro. Like anyone that's in PA, listen, man. 3 National Action members in your organisation in one meet will get you prescribed and you locked up.
Wait. Hang on. Right. So there's Sam Mellier from National Action. Who is the other guy?
You got Costello. Yeah. You got obviously Charlie Big Potatoes. You've got the guy that's just been sent down. What's his name? Davis something.
Yeah, I mean the ones that were at Sunday. It was Sam Mellier and who else?
Yeah, Costello.
Who's that? Is that the Reverend?
Yeah.
It's that. I wonder if there was any other. I wonder if we could prove that it was another one.
Probably we would be that they like that. It hasn't been exposed yet, but it's just like
it's like you can't talk like you can't call us bed posters, right? When you've got like when you're one man away from a terrorist meetup. It's like, come on, dude.
It's absolutely bizarre, honestly.
But yeah. He's talking from his arse. It's like he's like fed pussy. It's like he's goading the police into trying to get us raided again.
He's also been charged himself from having like firearms, doesn't it? Like, it's absolutely fucking unbelievable.
Excessive ammunition.
I mean, I'm not saying like
Ammunition.
he's on voice recording as well, calling for one of our own people. I mean, fucking fraud. Yeah, he's on the voice recording talking about breaking the legs of opposition. Like, honestly, this guy has no right to talk about Fed posting with anyone. You know, needs to sort his own house out before. Absolutely bizarre statements. But obviously, he's probably sold out to the police.
Exactly the kind of idiots we don't want. So I was only too glad to challenge them, tell them to clear off. And, I think they've got the knickers in a twist now.
Knickers in a twist? Bro, we're laughing at you, man. We are literally laughing at you. They've got knickers in a twist is because they now know you are a police informant. You've tried to provoke people on bail in front of police. They've seen you putting your hands around the waist of police. You're the one that gets away with everything all the time. Everyone is waking up, bro. No one's upset. We are woken up to the fact you are a police informant. Over to you, bro.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, I mean, you look at it and it's like, I mean, there's luck, right? I mean, these are the first charges I've faced. I'm sure there's luck to a point when it's like your luck runs out. But how many decades of luck has this man had? It's like, unless he's magic, unless he has like a crystal ball, then. But he probably doesn't have a crystal ball. He probably just has like a speed dial number. Police Scotland. That's his crystal ball.
Agreed. Let's rush through the end. This is nonsense, but let's go for the end. Yeah. It's with them all. Steve Blake, him, Mark Klett, 20 years, failed nationalism. How are they still acting like the head of nationalism? You failed for the last 20 years. When you started nationalism, we were 95% white English. We're now around 78% English or British. That's because of people like you failing our people all the time and continually Fed posting that no one wants anything to do with you. Fucking just retire. If you care about our people, Mark, Kenny, Steve, retire from nationalism and let someone. Mate, even give these two at the top, Sam and Laura, a chance. Maybe they'll do better. I mean, I don't agree, but they will do a lot better, and they've got a lot better fucking credit in the bank than people like you have. You fucking BNP doxing fat bastard.
About it, which is quite amusing, but we pay them no heed. They're not welcome at our things. They're a stain on nationalism. And
don't pay them any attention. You're giving them attention right now. They get more numbers than you, bro.
The locals, clearly identified that. I think that some of them said, that's the type of people that's going to derail this campaign, and I completely agree.
Yeah. I mean,
is this guy for real? Honestly.
I mean, I think they derailed their own campaign.
They really have. You know what I mean? You got Mark Klett, right, with a drag queen story over. Like, everyone was together. We've done this campaign, right? We had 60,000 views. Everyone was on it. Everyone was smashing it. And, like, everyone was like, okay, we're nationalists. We're the INN. We're not going to put our name on anything. And everyone's like, you know what, based. You're nationalists. We don't like you, but please don't bring your flags and banners to our events, and we'll support you. This is what people was like. Yeah, we had loads of support, and then PA turned up with their banners, and then all these other people was like, yeah, we can't be associated with PA. And then all that was turned up was PA in the end with 20 people. I'm like, oh my god, do these people have a brain? Like, just put your silly little banners away for your own event, and then we could have massive numbers. But they're like, oh my god, we have to put our own banners because our own banners means more donations, and we might have 5 more sign-ups, which means more donations. They have no clue whatsoever, bro. It's really frustrating getting through to these cowardly, grifting bastards.
Yeah, it's like commercialized activism. PA is a company at the end of the day, and PA is a brand. It's all about branding and that. But well, I was speaking about this earlier, and it's like I don't trust politicians. I don't vote. I don't like politicians. You should never trust a politician. What has PA wanted to be from the start? They've all wanted to be politicians. So doesn't that speak through? That says something.
But they won't stand independently for some reason. Like for me, it's a government. It works hand in hand with the government because they can't. No one can vote for PA. They're not a political party. They don't want to stand as independents. And PA are taking voters away. I mean, there's no political solution, in my opinion, anyway. But they're taking voters away. So, say if I was like, Heritage Party voter that I can vote for them, and I come across PA. Oh my God, PA is more like me. Fuck Heritage Party. I'll go and join PA. Who can I vote for in PA? Oh, absolutely no one. Okay, I won't vote for anyone then. That's why I think they're a government state organisation. They have absolutely no intention of being a political party. They failed on stupid reasons, and they're taking voters away from normal registered parties, even though there is no political solution. That's why I think the government aren't really bothered with them, to be honest. And they promote them as well. And people like me, you, and the rest of us, we're all being raided and arrested because we're genuine nationalists that's not eating for the fucking money.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing more and more groups. I've spoken to loads of different people in groups. It's like, in British nationalism, it's like, PA is an issue. They're all pointing the finger at PA, saying like they're setting up with these people. These guys are fucked. The way they act is fucked. And it's like, it's not just us. It's you. It's the INN. It's countless other people that say PA is a massive issue. So it's not just. I think it's like beyond personal at this point. I mean, like you get like certain people are disheartened and like they'll attack other right-wing groups and they'll attack PA at the same time. It's like they can do what they want. They say bad shit about us. It's like we don't care too much.
Yeah.
Like,
all right. We'll end the show in a minute, mate. But I did promise I will show you this clip. So this was caught. Like no one knew he was filming. An INN activist went to a demonstration in Hull, and you can see clearly here what happened. Notice the PA flags in the back, that in that direction. Right.
For the opposition and not for this part. Would you kindly stand over there, please? What do you mean? The opposition? Right.
So basically, the cop is there pointing towards the PA flags. He's saying, "We believe you're not part of this position. You are the opposition. Please go and stand over there." And he's trying to point towards the Antifa people. Yeah.
Do you know what that's kind of strange, right?
Yeah, so he's like, well, we'll watch it once more, yeah. So I'll explain to you. So watch it closely, yeah. There's a group of PA people, the Yorkshire Patriots, yeah. One INN guy's going there on his own. He don't know anyone. He's just going there to see what's going on. I told him to go there, film, and have a good time. And he's being sent by a police officer saying, "Yeah, they've told me you're part of the opposition. Go and stand over there." Like, look, watch it yourself. There's the PA flag in the background. Yeah.
For the opposition and not for this part. Would you kindly stand over there, please? What do you mean? The opposition? Right. You're the party over there. you're not part of this group here. The people from this group have asked me to tell you that you're not.
People from this group have told me to ask you you're not a part of this group. What the fuck?
Part of the group. Would you mind just standing over there? Thank you.
Bro, come on. Is that not evidence right there in front of your eyes? Well, people across there have told you, us, police, who you should never interact, that they're not part of that team. Absolutely fucking disgraceful.
Talking about coincidences again, right? I said this earlier. When we got there on Sunday, they were calling us Antifa, and they were shouting at us saying we're Antifa, and the police thought we might have been Antifa. So it's like coincidence, a little coincidence there. I just noticed, they're saying, oh, they said you're Antifa, when we got there, people are shouting at us saying that we're Antifa. It's like coincidences, mate. There's so many coincidences, and it's like, oh, it's like
It's so much.
I mean, to round it all off, right? I had no beef against PA. All this was in the dark. We were like, let's just get on with our shit. Let's do what we want to do. We'll go to this protest. We'll ignore PA. We'll shake the PA activists' hands. It's like these are good activists. None of this would have happened if Kenny Smith just took us to the side and had a conversation with us. But it's like all the underhanded tactics that are going on. It's scummy, and you and your tactics are a stain on nationalism. If you want to have a discussion about it, like an honest discussion, I'll act like a gentleman. We could talk about it, but I don't think you will, because that's not in your playbook.
Yeah, of course they won't. So, Lega, give your final words, please.
I just want to say that I stand with any other nationalist group facing persecution in Britain and abroad. Thomas Sowell, especially, with his legal battles against the multiculturalist state. Myself, Mystic, our other activist, and yourself. I hope our lawyers are decent enough to make us free men.
Is that everything, Lega? The guys?
Yeah. Yep, that's everything.
Good man. We will end the show. Is there also anything you would like to plug? Any channels, any links you want to plug, bro?
Just your channel on Highland Division. If you want to see any activism from up north, then subscribe to the Highland Division channel.
I will leave. I will leave the link in the YouTube comments, guys. I hope you've all enjoyed tonight's show. Please go and support these guys with all you can. Obviously, we're going to play the same outro as we did the intro because it's so funny, and we deserve to be laughing at people that is trying to destroy nationalism, steal our money, steal our people, lie about us, and yeah, let's have a laugh, guys. Look, guys, any final words before we play the song?
I just want to wish a good night to the kebab king. Good night, Kenny Smith.
Yeah, mate, honestly, he is the king kebab, isn't he?
He's the kebab king, mate.
Cheers, guys. I hope you all like
Hey, fatty boom boom, the sweet sugar dumpling. Hey, fatty boom boom, let me tell you something. No, not because you're so big and fat. Don't believe I'm afraid of that. Self-praise is no recommendation. I'm looking for creation. Hey, fatty boom boom, the sweet sugar dumpling. Hey, fatty boom boom, let me tell you something. To me that look like mouse on a $1 bread. I wouldn't stop trying till I drop down dead. Never let your big size fool you. The cooler day of the cool you. That look like a mouse on a $1 bread. I wouldn't stop trying till I drop down dead. Never let your big size fool you. The cooler day of the cool you. Hey fatty boom boom, the sweet sugar dumpling. Hey fatty boom boom, let me tell you something. I say not because you're so big and fat. Don't believe I'm afraid of that. Self-praise is no recommendation. I'm the king from creation. Hey fatty boom boom, a sweet sugar dumpling. Hey fatty boom